Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to my show today. I have a very interesting show that I want to talk to you about today. So take off your shoes, put on your slippers, um, grab your bottle of water, grab you some wine, grab you some liquor, grab you that leftover food that either your husband or wife can cook you. It's fixing to be a very interesting one today. It's going to be a very interesting show today. Now, the whole purpose of this show is that I was watching I was watching on YouTube today with a YouTuber named Nylah Speaks, and she made an interesting claim about Kevin Samuels. She made an interesting claim about him. The claim that she made about Kevin Samuels is this: is that she made the claim that Kevin Samuels promotes abuse, or furthermore, Kevin Samuels promotes domestic violence. And when I heard this claim, it was very interesting to me. So I want to just go ahead and just do my own little research on this. So she ended up putting up a video, right? A one-on-one Kevin Samuels podcast on YouTube. She put up the video and she was using this video as evidence that he truly supports abuse or domestic violence. So what I'm gonna do for y'all today, I'm gonna show the video to y'all, and we're gonna dive right into this. Okay, we're gonna see, is this claim really true, and we're just gonna go real deep in it as well. And one other thing too is that in this particular show, I'm gonna remain unbiased in this situation, especially dealing with domestic violence and abuse. And I'm gonna have my unbiased perspective about this. Okay, so let's get ready to jump into it. Hey, how you doing, Eddie? How you doing, bro? Appreciate you joining. Let's go and jump into it. Let me go ahead and show this video of Kevin Samuels, if you don't mind. I'm gonna add it on here. I'm gonna spotlight it here, and we're gonna go ahead and start. Now, I purposely started right here for a reason. So this is the claim that they're making right now to Kevin Samuels. All right, just want y'all to take a listen.
Um, Look, I call it the color purpling of the black community. How many times do we hear that women out here dealing with all this abuse, abuse, abuse? I'm gonna do the show on abuse next week because I'm tired of hearing this bullcrap. I do not see women being abused. I don't see women. I don't see black women being physically abused. Never really have. I'm gonna just say it. I never really have seen black women being abused. In my entire life, I have known of one woman, and that was one of my mother's friends back in the 70s. One. And she and her husband, or she and her man, they would fight each other. One. Emotional abuse. I will tell you, the emotional abuse comes from women to men, not men to women. And it's time we had this conversation because I'm tired. There's so many of you women who hide behind this abuse. Da, da, da. Uh, you're the loud, strong, independent, sassy sapphire coming out your mouth, blah, blah, blah. Y'all are far more quick to run out your mouth and talk crazy than anybody. So we're going to have that conversation because you go back to it acting like black men have had this power over you guys to abuse and dominate. Da, da, da. Prove it. Prove it. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's just another fantasy. I mean, think about it, bro. Think about it, man. Every time you hear abuse, abuse, abuse. I mean, and I've asked hundreds of people, have y'all ever witnessed a lot of domestic abuse? No, no, not once. No, never. No. But we do see abuse. It's the other way, talking crazy to men. Oh, don't tell me to educate myself. I mean, go ahead. I have educated myself, fool. And the problem is, I know what I'm talking about, and men are tired of hearing the lies. I'm tired of y'all lying on men. I'm tired of women running around claiming abuse. Women should not be able to just say anything. You should have to prove what you're talking about. If you want to talk about abuse, I need to see some police reports. If you're honestly saying you've been abused, then you need to dial 911, call the police, generate a police report. I've asked this question all, and for the every one time, and for you fools, you educate yourself. Look, lady, you don't know me. You ain't been around here long enough to understand how many thousands of women you've heard say this, and then ask the proof, and none. No, this is not right. Abuser, prove it. Prove it. Prove it. See, you keep saying it's real. Prove it. Prove it. Because some of you guys just believe in the boogeyman. Just because a woman says something, okay, then abuse is real. Then I guess, how many women have you seen being abused in your life versus the ones who claim it? Ask a woman why relationship ended. What did she say? Infidelity, money, infidelity, or abuse? You ever file a police report? What happened? Nah. Sorry. Document the abuse. And I'm sorry, I'm tired of seeing men's lives destroyed just on the word of what a woman says. I am not a believer of believe all women. I am for the fact you need to prove it, because it is too easy for a woman to say something out of emotion or anger, especially in this cancel culture. No, thank you. You got men's lives being destroyed because somebody's saying he touched me or did something 30 years ago when we were in college. No, thank you. If it happened, then you should be able to prove it. If it was bad enough for you to have to leave, there should be some proof. And if you don't want to prove it, don't get mad if nobody wants to believe you. That's it. I'm open to having a conversation though. I'm open to hearing it. But I would tell you, in the over a year of doing this live show, I've had one that I actually think believe what happened. One. Go back and listen to the shows. But I've had countless women say it happened. When I asked the question, did you file a police report? No. He was actually hitting you, and well, no, it never. Or we got violent with each other. It's always more to it. And here's another reason it's difficult to believe, because we live in such a visual world. We have so many ways of documenting stuff now. Where are all these domestic tapes? Where are all these domestic videos? With a cancel culture, when a woman says she's married to a family law attorney and he was smacking her around, I'm like, you can lose your law license. I'm sorry. You need to prove these allegations, not prove them, substantiate. You don't need to have a judgment, but you need to have something. And I'm sorry, ladies, if you cannot make a 911 and file a police report, then you are not asking the public to believe you. You're just asking us to take your word for it. And I'm sorry, I cannot do that. It's too important. Keep on saying it. And if you don't like it, I will gladly block you. If you don't like what I have to say, you can leave. Because you can have an opinion. No, you're going to come up and prove it. Substantiate it. See, this believe all women thing, Because if it was your son, if it was your brother, if it was men in your family that you cared about, you would not be so quick to just say, well, if she said it, it must be true. You know how many times women have said men have done something? I went to college with 3 guys who sat in jail for years because a woman claimed that they took her when they didn't. She was going through the dorms that night asking guys did they want to get down. I didn't. My frat brother was like, don't do that. It got back to her daddy, who was a big wig at a small oil company. It got back to her daddy that his daughter was being a little sloot bag. And when he confronted her, she either had to say, yeah, I was going through the athletic dorms, giving it up to anybody who wanted it, or she had to cry something else. And that's what happened. I was on this. I testified at the damn court before the grand jury. No, didn't happen. Got questioned. These guys went to jail because father was connected, and that girl got up on the stage and lied. No, thank you. So if you ladies say you believe everyone, all I'm saying is, hey, I have seen, and personally, my personal anecdotal experience, I've seen more men abused verbally, cussed out, cussed up one side, down the other, emasculated in front of people, to the point to where little bitty 5 foot nothing woman just nah, 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 nah. Sorry, ladies. What world do y'all live in? And lastly, it may not be you, but you got to look around, ladies. Far too many women today weigh as much or more than men their same height. So it's not like you're talking about 70, 80 years ago where a 5'8" or 9 or 10 man was 160 pounds and a woman's a little 100 pounds. You're talking about a woman who's roughly, 5'5", 5'6", 170 pounds, and he's 5'5", 5'6", 160 pounds. You're usually around the same weight. I mean, YouTube and World Star's full of videos of women just whooping dudes' butt. I'm here in New York City and I'm looking at all these number 10s. The dude look like this and she's like this. And I gotta ask you ladies a question. Why can't we talk about this without you guys getting triggered? Why is it automatically that men are ignorant and you're not educated? No, I'm educated on the subject. I just don't believe it. I don't believe I don't believe when I just hear women say something happened and there is no record of it. Something as traumatic as that, and you saying it's ongoing enough to cause a breakup of a marriage, and there is absolutely zero documentation. Sorry, don't buy it. So anyway, on to the next one. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think, and honestly, I don't think a lot of folks have seen it either. Where I'm seeing guys and they're saying they haven't seen it. I'm seeing women saying they haven't seen it. So there you go. Watch out now. Look, ladies. Oh, let's back it in. Let's reel it in. Let's woosah. Let's woosah. Let's woosah.
So, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Mr. Samuels, he have a strong claim. His claim is simple. He is saying that no, it is not women who are abused, but it's actually the men who are being abused. That is his strong claim. Now, remember what I said earlier in the show that the two YouTubers, Cynthia G and the other one, I forgot the name that fast, but they just did a show today showing this video is saying that Kevin Samuels, he condones the abuse. He's saying that he said that women are less likely to be abused. So who is right in this situation? Are the YouTubers right in this situation, or is Kevin Samuels right? Both have a really, really strong claim, but well, when it comes down to it, and these situations right here, when it really, really come down to it, it really comes down to statistics, data, research. So this what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and take this down real quick. And this what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this for y'all. Once again, y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in today. I really do. And just like I said earlier, I'm just gonna give you my straight, unbiased perspective about this. Okay. So this what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna share some data with y'all. Okay, if y'all don't mind, because we do need to get down to the bottom of. Because so far, what I see a lot of finger pointing. Men, men are more violent than women. Women are more violent than men. But which one is facts? And then from there, where's the accountability that take place as well? So let me do this for you. I'm finna get ready to share something with y'all real quick again. Now, whenever I research information, I always go by the source. Okay, let me move the screen up over here real quick, just so I can navigate it. All right, so well, whenever I'm researching particular things like this, first and foremost, I don't know if y'all can see this, but let me do this. Let me put myself in here too, so y'all could see this. But anyway, well, whenever I do research, I always do my research not through regular Google, but I always research through Google Scholar. A lot of people don't know about Google Scholar. The only way you will actually really know about Google Scholar if you participate in a higher education, meaning that you participate in college or getting your bachelor's degree, master's, PhD, anything like this. But well, whenever we had to do any type of research papers, right? They have us not go on Google, but they have us go on Google Scholar. All right. So we could get very credible findings. And so Google Scholar has all the resources that you need to see where everything's been cited in all these articles on here on Google Scholar, right? This is based on research and the findings of this research, peer review research. And this is how I get my data. Now I don't go through Google. I don't go through like what Kevin Samuels does. I don't go through I think it's black demographics.com when and to be honest with you, that's really not a credible website to pull up data and statistics and everything like that. It really ain't. So you have to go to a really, really credible website to find out this information. In this particular case, like I say, I'm on here, I'm on Google Scholar, and I'm gonna. The reason why I'm doing this, I'm showing y'all how to do y'all research too. All right, so you won't just believe any old thing that any old person will say, even me. So I want y'all to pay attention to this particular book that I'm just getting ready to click into. Now, this book here is called "The Controversy Over Domestic Violence by Women," and this the author of this book is Maurice Stratz. Now, and the whole point of this book, and the reason why I'm bringing this book up to y'all, is because Maurice Stratz they did a very interesting finding on the very thing that the YouTube content creator Cynthia G and them talking about, and also what Kevin Samuels is talking about too. Notice the title. It'll say "The Controversy Over Domestic Violence by Women: A Methodological, Theoretical, and Sociology of Science Analysis." Meaning that this author, Murray Stratz, did extensive research on this very issue. And this is the reason why I'm referencing this book right now. Now, if y'all never heard of this book before, I recommend y'all this. It's on eBay. You get it on ebooks. You can get it on Amazon or anything like that. You get it on Amazon. But the reason why I can view this book is because due to me being a college student, I have access to this on a little site right here that say Sage. I have access to that, so I could get it for free. But anyway, let's dive deeper into this and see who's telling the truth about this matter, all right? So I'm just going to read the overview of this, all right? The overview says this: the methodological part of this chapter analysis the discrepancies between more than 100 family conflicted studies of domestic physical assault, those using conflict static scales or similar approaches, and what can be called crime studies. Example is the National Crime Victimization Survey and studies using police call data. Family conflict studies without exception show about an equal rate of assault by men and women. Crime studies without exception shows a much higher rate of assault by men, often 90% by men. Crime studies also find a prevalent rate for both men and women that is a small fraction of the rate of assaults found by family conflict studies. The difference in prevalence rates and gender differences between the two types of study probably occur because crime studies deal with only a small part of all domestic assaults that the participant experience as a crime, such as assaults which results in an injury serious enough to need a medical attention or assaults by a former partner. These occur relatively rarely, and tend to be assaults by men. The theoretical part of the chapter seeks to provide explanation for discrepancy between low rates of assaults by women outside the family and very high rates of assaults by women within the family. The sociology of science part of the chapter seeks to explain why the controversy over the domestic assaults by women persists and is likely to continue. Now, the reason why I'm reading this introduction part is because this author concluded within his findings is, first of all, through the research data, who's these peoples again? Yeah, the National Crime Victimization Survey. This author is saying, in other words, that the data that they're collecting is not unbiased, but it's actually biased. All right? That's what it's saying. And this is the same thing about the other one argument as well as what Kevin Samuels is saying as well. The data and the findings is biased. So who's telling the truth? Who's telling the truth in the situation? The only way that we can fully understand who's telling the truth in the situation is for each of us individually do our own findings of the matter unbiasedly. That's the only way. That's the only way. And this particular thing, it creates accountability. Let me put it to y'all this way too. All right. Let me give y'all a different perspective about it. I know many of y'all probably either religious or y'all may be spiritual, or you may not be none of them things at all. Religion has a different truth about it. Spirituality has a different truth about it. Even the person who's non-religious at all has a certain truth about it. Now, within these certain truths, people could go into this certain truth and collect certain data about it, certain biased data about it, and say that this is facts, which that's not necessarily true. Same thing in this situation. Now, am I saying that domestic violence doesn't exist at all? No, I'm not saying that at all. And I'm agreeing with Cynthia G and them. I'm agreeing with Kevin Samuels. What I'm saying is this, is that whenever we present any type of evidence to people, especially when it's dealing with anything with a sociological perspective, it's important for us to do our due diligence and do our thorough research about it. That way we won't be promoting different propaganda. That way we won't be confusing people, because the average person is not going to dig deep into any type of situation unless it personally affects them. Unless it personally affects them. Case point with the situation with the Cynthia G's and the Kevin Samuels. I can say confidently that they possibly dealt with situations like this with some form of domestic violence. And they was looking for solutions, looking for answers. But instead of looking for the solutions and answer in an unbiased perspective, they pretty much choose a side and ran with it. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of people do. And so what I'm challenging y'all to do is, whenever you hear these content creators, even myself, whenever we talk about things that dealing with statistic data, anything like that on a scholarly level, it is up to you, the one who's receiving the data from us. It's up to you to do your due diligence and find out if what they're saying is absolute facts. If you don't do that, then all you are is a puppet. That's all you are. All you are is just a follower. That's all you are. Now, I'm gonna read deeper in this book too, but I challenge y'all to go get this book too. This book, because it's very interesting. But I'm gonna read deeper. But first, let me pull up some of these comments. I don't mean to neglect y'all, but I'm just really deep in this because it's like very important to me. Y'all already seen this, Miss Ginger. By the way, Miss Ginger, welcome to the show, and Miss Ashley as well. Welcome as well. Now, Ms. Ginger, she also said domestic violence is the #1 health issues for Black women. How can even he say that it's inflammatory? It's a good question. Then Miss Ashley, she talking about did I do it right? Now, the one thing about that, Mrs. Ginger, is that once again, both Kevin Samuels and Cynthia G and the other lady, I keep forgetting her name, they trying to look at this from a race perspective. They're trying to look at this from a race perspective, that this is occurring, domestic violence is only occurring with Black women, period. Now, this book that I'm reading, notice the book that I'm reading to y'all tonight, it didn't say nothing about race. It didn't say nothing about race. All it said was men and women, period. And to be honest with y'all, I challenge y'all this too. I challenge y'all to do y'all research and see if you can find any type of data or statistics was particularly dealing with a race, dealing with a Black woman or a Black man with domestic violence. And I guarantee that you're not going to find it. Unless you go to an unscholarly source. You most definitely will find it when you go to an unscholarly source, like any one of them .com sites. You'll most definitely find it there. You might even look around and find it through Wikipedia, but Wikipedia is not a credible source neither. Wikipedia is not even a credible source for any type of scholarly findings. It's not. But yeah, you will. You most definitely will. Now, I know without a shadow of doubt that Kevin Samuels, if y'all ever paid attention to his shows, he always be on his phone. And what he do, he Google on his phone blackdemographics.com to pull up his statistic and data or whatever it is that he's talking about and use that as talking points. He go on blackdemographics.com. Blackdemographics.com is not a scholarly source. It's not. Black Demographics is not a scholarly source to get your statistic and data and information. It's not. It's not. All it is all their website is based on is people pulling certain information in and creating a website. It ain't no different from a person who creates a business website. That's all it is. It is not a scholarly source. I wonder how Black Demographics gets his demographics. I need to look that up. Yes, most definitely, Miss Ashley. Look it up. Now, once again, anything that you want to deal with data and statistics, the only way you're going to find the information is, first of all, what I'm showing y'all to do, which is you can always find great scholarly sources on Google Scholar. That's the starter point. You can always go on Google Scholar. A lot of people don't know nothing about Google Scholar. But if you type in the search engine in Google and type in Google Scholar, it's going to take you straight to Google Scholar. And Google Scholar has nothing but scholarly sources on their page. And all you got to do is click on any scholarly source that you look at. You can research anything on Google Scholar, and it's going to pull up people findings. It's going to pull up the data, statistic, or different situations. But if you stuck on trying to just go on regular Google, my challenge to y'all is to make sure you don't go on no websites that have a .com at the end of it, because that is not a credible scholarly source. You have to go to sites that either have edu at the end of it, gov at the end of it, them type of websites. Yeah, Ms. Ginger, she said I go by thousands and more black women killed by their partners, not necessarily rape or abuse. Then also, Ms. Ginger, since you bringing that point up, another interesting point too is what about just the violence period in our black community? What about that? See, it's very easy for like content creators to create this narrative about domestic violence between men, women, black men, black women, because that's easy to talk about. Because they know people be triggered by it. But how come we're not talking about serious issues in our community? The black on black crime in our community. Cities like Chicago, people are getting murdered by drive-bys and stuff every minute, every second. Why are we not talking about that? Why are we not talking about the gang violence and stuff in the community too? Why is that not the highlight of the topic or the discussions? But then again, many of us will say that we're so pro black and we for our community, but we won't have these type of discussions. I mean, we won't. I'm gonna scroll down real quick because it's a part in this section that I do want to talk to you about real quick. Give me a second while I find it, because I already read this book. I think it's right here. Yeah, I'm gonna read this right quick. I'm gonna blow it right back up again. All right, so I wonder, can I blow it up bigger? Can I? Well, that's as good as it's gonna get, y'all. But okay. Now this part right here, it says the NVAW findings contradict findings from many studies of violence between dating, cohabitating, and married couples, including national household surveys in the United States and other countries. And read it again. The National Violence Association findings contradicts findings from many studies of violence between dating, cohabitating, and married couples, including national household surveys in the United States and other countries. These studies, such as the National Family Violence Surveys, the National Survey of Families and Household, and British and Canadian National Surveys, are presented to respondents as research on family problems. Following, I refer to them as family conflict studies. I started to compile a table summarizing all the family conflict studies reported assault rates for both men and women partners. But I stopped tabulated 39 studies out of about 120 in my files because at that point I received a bibliography of 70 studies, all of which found that women are as physically aggressive or more aggressive than men in their relationships. Ain't that interesting? Ain't that interesting? Hello, Miss Faith. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But ain't that interesting though? Remember when I read the beginning of this, right? It was leaning more towards the man was the perpetrator and creating domestic violence. And this was going through the natural National Family Violence Survey. It was using this findings and saying that men were the perpetrator. Men, it was men who the ones who's created domestic violence against women. But this author did the study and did the findings and found out that the article is contradicting a lot of stuff because now it's saying that women are more physically aggressive than men in domestic violence. So who's telling the truth? Is it Cynthia G and them telling the truth, saying that men are the perpetrators, or is it Kevin Samuels who's saying that women are the perpetrators? Who's telling the truth? Now I'm gonna give y'all my personal perspective about this, okay? And y'all may agree with me, y'all may disagree with me, and that's fine. But my personal perspective about this is that I believe that this data and this findings dealing with this particular situation, it strays either way for a reason. It's designed to stray a certain way for a reason, to create this narrative, to create this conflict. Now, wait. I'm not saying that domestic violence doesn't exist. That is not what I'm saying. Because I know it exists. I know it exists. I know that it exists. But however, I believe that this data is tainted for a reason to create this narrative of separation. Now, if y'all check this book out and go read this book, at the end of this book, it doesn't offer no type of accountability. It doesn't offer no type of solution. Same thing with the two narrative. It doesn't offer no type of accountability. It doesn't offer no type of solution. So we should be asking the question why? Why it doesn't offer accountability and why it doesn't offer solution? Is it possible that the country that we live in want to have this data, want to have this narrative going, want to have this division and separation going, instead of providing solutions? Could it be possible? I think so. I think at the end of the day, wherever this country could find any opportunity to make money off of a narrative, they're going to make money off the narrative. Now, I challenge y'all to do this as well. I challenge y'all, now you can just regular Google this. I challenge y'all to go ahead and Google, just put in your search engine and Google domestic violence. And I guarantee you, once when you Google it, on the right side of your search engine, you're going to see all these different agencies dealing with domestic violence. All these agencies. All these agencies is funded through our government, but guess who's paying for it? Us. We're paying for it through our tax dollars. We're paying to keep us separated. We're paying these people, we're trusting these people with our tax dollars to find a solution to the problem. But their only solution to the problem is to contact your law enforcement agency. Their solution to the problem is to tether up into these agencies. The solution is that if you are dealing with any type of domestic situation, they got shelters in place. But they're not dealing with the underlying solution of what causes the behavior of domestic violence. They're not offering that type of solution. I mean, they're not. Yeah, I believe in that, Miss Ashley. Yeah, I know you was talking about the Center for Education Statistics. Yeah, absolutely. Now, Kevin Samuels' claim, well, when I showed the video to y'all, his claim talking about this is just a fairy tale, it ain't never happening, period. Now, I disagree with that claim all the way. It is foolish to have that type of claim. Because we know at the end of the day, the domestic violence exists. It doesn't exist due to you being black or your race. Because every race is dealing with domestic violence. Every race. But we deal with it because we're men and we women. That's just the bottom line of it. So I'm not going to sit up here on my platform. I'm not going to sit up here and try to do a race bait rant with y'all saying that, yeah, it is black women who are dealing with this, or it is black men dealing with. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be unbiased and be truthful to y'all as possible about it. Now, notice I said truthful. And I didn't say facts or anything like that. Because everything I'm talking about at the end of the day is my truth. And to be honest with y'all, at the end of the day, there's really no such thing as things being absolute fact when you think about it. because things is changing so much where things is not even factual no more. We used to have the absolute fact that a man is a man and a woman is a woman, but that's not even one factual no more. So we used to have the facts that the sky is blue, but that's not factual. There are debates right now that the reason why the sky really ain't blue is because of the ocean. But if you go through different parts of the world, the sky would turn from blue to a greenish color, matching wherever ocean that you're traveling by, which I personally seen it. So there are things there. It's not necessarily facts anymore. There's a lot of truths out there. Don't get me wrong, it is. But it's become to a point where there are things where it's not factual anymore. Yeah, I agree with you. He doesn't have a solution. He never does. You say, y'all, the solution is for black women not to settle and be wise about who they choose. You know what? That is a great truth, Miss Ginger. I agree with that. And you want to know why I agree with that? It's because that is challenging accountability. Because at the end of the day, you are accountable for whoever you want to be in your personal space. You choose that. You're accountable for that. Hello, Queen. How you doing? You are accountable for that. So let's just say hypothetically speaking, you've been dating this man. You've been dating this man, right? At first, this man he appears to be a nice guy. Then all of a sudden, you start slowly seeing changes within this guy, and you know these changes that's happening with this guy. It's not positive change. Will be positive for you, your situation, and everything, right? But you notice a negative decline in the behavior of this guy. So you have a choice to make. Either you choose to dismiss yourself, look at the signs and immediately dismiss yourself, or you choose to stay there and just play it out and see how it goes. Now, I can tell you this, and this from both men and women in situations like that. I can tell you this. The reason why people choose to stay and let the situation play itself out is because it be something that's triggered within them thinking that it's either a fluke or they could change the behavior of that person. It was just one time. I could change. I could change them. I'll be the light. I'll be the light that he needs, or I'll be the light that she needs. So we'll stay in this situation thinking you could change that person, but the reality is that you cannot change nobody, nor you cannot control nobody. It's up to that person to want to change. Period. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Period. It don't matter. That person could say, you know what? Hey, we could go to counseling, to therapy. That person go to therapy all day long, but if it's not in his mind and heart, or her mind and heart to change, they do it all day long just to appease you for that moment. But did they really change? No. Nothing can make that person change. Not even a therapist can make that person change. They have to want to change. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear about that situation, Ms. Ginger. I'm hoping that everything is good with that. Then also with even with that after with that situation right there, I'm hoping and praying that your daughter seek help as well. And I'm talking about from a therapy perspective too, because I know that situation could create a traumatic effect on her, especially on her psyche. Yeah, Miss Queen, you know how I do. Absolutely, I agree with you. I agree. I agree that people do need to get counseled, and the reason why is because we have so much different traumatic experiences that we deal with, started from our upbringing. So there are things that we deal with when we was young. We really didn't have the answer to it, so we just accepted it as it being the norm. And so when you become an adult, it becomes the norm. This situation is very prevalent when, like, say for example, when a man, when you deal with a man, and when he's young, he was in a domestic situation, saying his father been domestic, being violent with his mother, but he's saying that as a normal situation, that he ended up growing up thinking that this is the norm, and enter into the relationship thinking that it's normal, with narcissistic personality disorder and all kind of things going on with him. Oh yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Hello, Auntie. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. So yeah, well, what I'm gonna do now? I know I've been ranting to y'all tonight, but this was pretty serious to me. So, but what I'm gonna do now, like how I always do, I'm gonna go ahead and allow the opportunity for y'all to go ahead and bless me with your presence in my house. Okay. I just dropped the link right there. I appreciate everybody who's watching me from Facebook and YouTube. I appreciate y'all. And don't forget to like my channel and share. Share, share, share. But I want to give y'all the opportunity that's coming to the house right now. I want to hear y'all perspective on the matter. Y'all done heard my perspective. I want to hear y'all perspective about it. Because I think this situation, it is very important. And I think that we as grown adults, we have to do our due diligence. We have to do our due diligence, is it does research and make sure things is really factual. Make sure that things is the truth, and not just go by whatever some podcaster is talking about. But find out for yourself and do the correct research. I'll put it to you that way. Proper research. So yeah, I want to invite y'all up right now. Now I just dropped the link right there. Y'all see the link right there. It's on YouTube and on Facebook as well. If y'all want to come up, by all means, come up. And I'd love to hear y'all perspective. I would love to. Now I know throughout this whole thing, and I've been talking a lot about Kevin Samuels. Now, do I feel some type of way about Kevin Samuels? Do I like him, dislike him, or anything like that? To be honest with y'all, I really don't care. Because at the end of the day, I know that Kevin Samuels and other content creators out there. At the end of the day, they're out there for two reasons. The first obvious reason is to make money. The second reason is to entertain. It's just what it is. But on my channel, I love giving different perspectives, and I love inviting people on who have different perspectives too. So we share our different perspectives, then we just come up with a solution about the matter. That's it. That's it. And that's one of the biggest things that we're missing, especially when we have this whenever we have these platforms. Yeah, it's no solution. So, like I say, my solution in this situation is for us to do our due diligence in researching this information. And make sure that everything that's been cited and quoted and stuff, make sure it's absolute truth. Yeah, I agree. Now, once again, I don't hate Kevin Samuels. I don't hate nobody. Hate is a strong word, but I don't hate nobody. But I do mention a lot about Kevin Samuels and other people, not because I have some type of vendetta against them, nothing like that. It is because of some of the stuff that they say I just don't agree with. It doesn't mean I don't like them or anything like that. To be honest with you, I really don't know them. Just like they really don't know me. Unless we have that conversation one day and we'll go from there and we develop a business relationship or however way that goes. But yeah, it does certain things that I just don't agree with, and that's with a lot of one content creators. There are certain things that I agree with them. There are certain things I just don't agree with, and then I express it on my one platform. That's what I do. So yeah, y'all. Let me take this off real quick. All right, so y'all can see my handsome face again. Now that's pretty much it with this situation. That's pretty much it. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that too. And normally when I do have my one platform, if you look at all my other videos and all the stuff there, normally I'm not combative at all. All I do is share my perspective about situations and just let it go. It is what it is. It is what it is. Now, once again, if y'all enjoying this content, and I appreciate it a whole lot, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Um, Another important thing too is to make sure that you get your make sure that you hit that notification bell as well, so you'll know when I go live. And that goes for you too, Miss Thornton, because I'll be getting on you. Just hit that notification bell. You'll know exactly when I go live. That way you could keep up with all the different content that I put out as well. Are you welcome, Auntie? Yeah, I'm gonna have to get you on the panel again. Here's Miss Thornton. She said she wasn't home. I give you that with Miss Thornton. But Miss Thornton, she's pretty cool too. Miss Thornton been on the panel several times too. So, but yeah, all that just like what Miss Ginger said with all that being combative and all the stuff there. To me, it does a waste of time and energy because there are way more bigger things that we deal with every single day, and I just don't have the energy for it. The things I'm personally in my personal space that I'm dealing with every single day. So I don't want to add on to things that I'm already dealing with people that I barely know. Just to get likes and follows and all the stuff there. It just ain't worth it to me. Yeah, it is. Absolutely it is. But yet it's still at the end of the day, I still support them on channels though. I still support them because I try to do my best to help support us. So, but yeah, that's like I say, that's how I have tonight, y'all. And I hope the things that I said tonight will be beneficial to you. And once again, I do highly recommend that y'all go and do your due diligence. Go research the stuff that I'm talking about the correct way. And if you missed the beginning part of what I was talking about, once when I'm finished with this my video, it'll be immediately available that you could catch the beginning of this content. Then you just go from there. Okay. So that's it, everybody. Once again, I appreciate y'all joining me tonight. I'm hoping that y'all have a great and wonderful evening. And I hope y'all have a great Friday as well. I may do a pop-up live tomorrow. Just do a regular pop-up live on Facebook. Miss Ginger, I don't know if you're on Facebook, but I recommend that you also follow me on Facebook too, because I do this regular pop-up lives. Now, not this panel like live I'm doing right now on YouTube, but I do pop-up lives as well on my Facebook page, which is the official Urban Therapist. All right. So I appreciate y'all joining me tonight. If y'all have any questions, concern, or comments, or anything like that, please, 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 please let me know. And we'll go from there, okay? Oh, it's okay, Ms. Ginger. You got plenty of time to come up here and grace us with your presence. Plenty of time. I'm patient and I can wait because I have plenty of other topics that we could talk about too. But yeah, just like I say, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night. Be safe out there. And like always, continue to fight fate with faith.